Blaze drove a beat-up Subaru himself. Marty respected the Subaru, and even though he was normally wary of any new authority, he had some respect for Blaze in general. The guy had come into Surefired full of ideas and open to feedback. It wasn't lip service. He took employee comments to heart and implemented changes. Strangely, Blaze had taken a liking to Marty, too. Marty had no idea why, but he didn't question it. It was better than the previous CEO, who had tried to frame Marty as a spy selling company secrets to the Chinese government. That, and Marty's subsequent evasion of the FBI, had been a low point, though Blaze loved hearing about that time in Marty's life. He said, "Marty, you've got conviction, character, and most importantly, a real backbone, something this industry rarely sees." Marty wasn't so sure about all that, but he didn't argue when Blaze promoted him to a director position and doubled his salary. It was at first a shock. Marty was suspicious of the promotion. The money was absurd. He had no idea what to do with it. He thought Blaze might be trying to blind him with flattery and keeping him drunk on the almighty dollar. After working with Blaze for a few months, though, it didn't seem to be the case. Marty still decided to ignore the money, though, letting it pool in his savings and not changing how he lived. He thought it was best to keep things simple. As long as he wasn't dependent on a high salary, he could afford to speak up again, no matter how unpopular his opinions. He wasn't afraid of getting fired, unless the FBI was sent after him again. It was easy enough to pack up and leave in his old Kia. He pulled up to the house and realized that there was only one other car there, and it wasn't Blaze's. Marty sent him a message. "Hey, got here a bit early. I'll be waiting in my car until you get here." Blaze's response was prompt. "No, please go on in. The kids are home with Emma, our nanny. I'll let her know you're here." Marty waited a beat before approaching the magnificent front door. Should he ring the doorbell? He didn't want to wake the kids if they were sleeping. After some hesitation, he lightly knocked on the rich, dark wood. A moment later, the door opened, blinding him momentarily. Light poured in from the tall windows that faced the ocean, reflecting beams of sun off the water into his eyes. "Hi, you must be Marty." His eyes adjusted. He expected to see a woman with rosy cheeks and coiffed white hair, a grandma, essentially. He'd always been babysat either by his own grandma or a grandma fill-in from the neighborhood. This woman was no grandma. The light poured in behind her, giving her a sort of glow. Her dark chestnut hair was braided off to the side, and she smiled at him, her warm brown eyes locked onto his face. Marty smiled back, unable to speak for a moment. Finally, he managed to sputter out, "Hi, Emma. I'm Marty. It's nice to meet you." She nodded, stepping aside and waving him in. "Blaze said to make yourself at home." Marty stepped inside, suddenly feeling awkward about his eagerness in coming to Blaze's house. "Thanks." "I'm just doing some baking with Caleb, and Sophie is taking a nap. Do you like cookies?" He smiled again. "Yes, I do." "Great." She clapped her hands together. "Then we might have something for you guys in a bit. We also might not have anything for you if things go poorly." Blaze's 5-year-old son Caleb ran over, clutching a measuring cup half filled with flour. He eyed Marty suspiciously. "Hi," Marty said, kneeling down. "What have you got there?" Caleb frowned and dropped the measuring cup, dumping flour on the floor as he walked away. "Caleb, that's not polite," Emma said firmly. "Please come back here and say hello to your dad's friend." "Oh, it's okay," Marty started, but Emma cut him off. "He knows better." She crossed her arms and stared at Caleb until he dragged himself back to the front door. "Now what do you say?"